This is Pipeline Audio. I am, man, I've been trying to start this video, this live stream for the past couple hours, and things keep happening in the way. But it's actually like the crazy busiest part of the day here, so chances are there's gonna be a lot of phone calls getting in the way. And I'm sorry about that, but you always see the subject come up about getting Reaper to OBS, or whatever DAW you're getting to OBS, open broadcast software, or, actually, this could be for a lot of different stuff, but in this case, how many shows have we done on dropping in at Pipeline Audio about how hard it is to move audio around in real time on your computer? And in this case, one of the things that we do, like I said, it's going to be kind of busy for a little bit, but one of the things that you have to do is get from Reaper to OBS, right? Now I'm going to call it OBS, so I know it's OBS, whatever, I'm going to call it OBS, too bad. You either need some sort of loopback, or, we use Restream. If you use the OBS ASIO driver, you can use Restream to get from Reaper to OBS. You can use reroute to get from Reaper to OBS through ASIO. You can use Restream, which there's a couple little tricks to that, but that's doable. You put Restream in your output bus for Reaper, or maybe you have a different routing that you want to do with it, and OBS can take it that way. And then getting from, let's say, OBS to Discord or OBS to Skype, that's a pain. I pay an extra $20 or something a month just so I can have an easy chat system with these live streams, and even then it's not that great. It's good. I'm pretty happy that what Restream has done. Different Restream, Restream.io, not the Reaper plugin Restream. That's kind of confusing. But there's a lot of loopback that needs to be done. In my case, I can do a lot of it with the RME Total Mix software, but in order to do that, I have to give up actual hardware channels, which, that's no fun, right? You don't want to give up your I/O for a loopback. You could do this with virtual audio cable. You can do this in a lot of ways. And let me just give you a rundown. Let's see. So this is how let me see if I can get this mic a little bit better. What we're looking at on the screen here is how I route things in Total Mix, pretty much. I have to have it, at least at work, at the control room setup, I have to have Reaper running the ASIO drivers, and it has to be low enough latency that the band can hear themselves and record and everything. But I still want to be able to stream, and I want to be able to get all of our stuff into the streaming system and everything. So there's a lot to it. But basically, anything that happens out in the big room, with the drums and everything, or our tracking rooms, comes into Reaper through the RME's ASIO drivers, and goes back out to them through ASIO. You can see here this ASIO out 1 and 2. That's my main monitor out, but that's also mostly what I usually send to the clients as well. I also have ASIO out 3, 4 that goes back out to the headphones or whatever out in the studio. Reroute goes from Reaper to OBS. OBS ASIO in 1 and 2. My microphone goes into Reaper ASIO so I can record it just in case something goes wrong on the web. I still have my podcast or whatever. My mic also goes to a talkback system on Total Mix, which I didn't write there. And it also goes into my narration mic that you're hearing in OBS right now. And let's see. That way I can put plugins on it and whatever else. And So that's going into another ASIO in using OBS ASIO, but instead of reroute this time, it's using the actual RME ASIO in. Where it gets tricky, let's say I want to go out from OBS into the streaming. You know, I want to, you know, I can stream straight out, but OBS doesn't really have outputs. It does have a monitor output. And in this case, I'm using Restream Live Studio Pro. You might be using Discord, you might be using Zoom, whatever it is that you're using. Oh yeah, you guys watching, feel free. There's a chat link in the description you can join in. But in my case, I'm using Restream Live Studio, and in order to get there, I'm going out, OBS monitor out, into audio out 29 and 30 on my RME Total Mix. And I have loopback set. So yeah, I'm giving up 2 channels, and then the loopback is coming out and going into the Restreams in. Now you could do that with the virtual audio cable. I don't know how reliable that is. Sometimes it's worked fine. Other times I've gotten burned live on the air with that. So I'm a little bit scared. I kind of don't want to give up my hardware loopback there, or it's a software loopback, but you could do this in hardware as well. It's probably safer. But you know, you're still dealing with WDM drivers, or if you're on a Mac, you're dealing with, you know, changing between your driver types, your low latency and your, what do you call, core audio or whatever. Ooh, there's a pretty bad static noise on live stream. Let me see what that is. Thanks for dealing with, you know, changing between your driver types, your low latency and your, what do you call, core audio or whatever. Ooh, there's a pretty bad static noise on live stream. Let me see what that is. Yeah, that is. Woo! Alright, for some reason reroute's on. That shouldn't be on, but hopefully that's... Yeah, and see, this is why I'm scared to use... Oh, man. Oh, what a bummer. Let's see if this goes away in a second. I just turned off a whole bunch of crap. There we go. Wow. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Oh, wow. Oh, boy, man, I should just start over, but I'm just going to cut up the beginning of this anyway. Anyhow, I thought this was a really important topic, so static noise or whatever else is going on here, and the fact that people are probably going to keep calling over the next little while. I think it's still something to get up as quick as possible, because this is something that drives everybody bonkers. Yeah, thanks, Eli. So, you can see how complicated these setups get, and you know, in my case, I need a YouTube out. So, I'll give the use cases here, because this is where I think this is where everybody gets nailed, right? So my mic needs to go, at least for the studio. My mic needs to go to the stream audience. It needs to go to the talkback mics to the studio. It needs to go to Reaper's input. It needs to go to Restream chat, and that's the chat system that I use for when we're live streaming. We have guests on and stuff. And possibly it needs to go to Google Meet, Skype, Discord, and all that stuff. Reaper's output needs to go to the stream audience, the headphones in the studio, Restream chat, possibly Google, Skype, and Discord's input, and the control room out, so I can hear it in here. You know, your app out, YouTube, whatever, your YouTube audio needs to go to the stream audience, needs to go to this Restream chat. But it has to, see, here's where it gets ugly, because if, depending on your output you picked, if you're sending it to Restream chat, maybe it's coming out the same output that Restream chat is, and now you're going to send it back into itself, feedback loop, all cats and dogs living together, all that stuff. And it also needs to go to the control room out. And let's say we're playing a game. The game out needs to go to the stream audience, Restream chat, Google, Skype, Discord, whatever, chat, and control room out. And Restream chat needs to go to the stream audience, possibly your Google, Skype, Discord, and the control room out. And these things can make a lot of trouble with each other. And the easiest way, you know, for me with an RME system, it's easy because I got so many software outs that I'm not using. So in my case, you can see that Reaper I have going into audio out 1 and 2. Audio out in total mix. Let me see if I can pop up the total mix window here so you guys can see this. You know, if we all have RME stuff, I guess life gets a lot easier, but you know, you can't always carry that stuff around with you. So let me just switch inputs real quick. Hopefully this doesn't burn anything. So if you look at total mix, these are your hardware inputs on the top, your hardware outputs on the bottom, and in the middle here are the software outputs. So like Reaper's out or Google's out, whatever you have set. And you can, so your software outputs do not necessarily have to go to your hardware outputs. So you can mix these things up together. And so in this case, I know it's just a really roundabout way, but in my case, I've got my audio out coming from Reaper 1 and 2. My 3.4 is going to the headphones coming from Reaper out 3.4. Audio out 5 and 6 is coming from Restream Chat, so that I can hear Restream Chat without it looping back into itself. YouTube out is coming to audio out 7 and 8, and that way me and the guys in the chat could also both be watching the same YouTube video, and we could comment on it or whatever without worrying about feedback or anything. And so game out, I'm kind of doing the same thing, audio out 9, 10, and at the bottom here, you're going to see where it says control room speakers. And here's where it gets tricky. You're going to have to mix all 4 of these together. Again, it's no problem with the RME total mix because I'm doing, I'm sending all those different software outs into the same sets of hardware outs. So I've got a mixer there. That's okay. I can handle all this. This is okay. Not thrilled, but it's okay. But let's go something more realistic. How about if you don't have an audio interface at all, or maybe you have a USB interface? All of a sudden those loopbacks get ugly. And one way that was dealing with this, and this pretty much works, but as you heard, you never know what's going to happen. We just had that big nasty buzzy noise and stuff. In this case, I'm showing a way where it could work with voice meter. In this case, this is from my home laptop. I don't need a talkback mic. I don't need 3 and 4 going out to the studio headphones or whatever. And so I have things going into these loopbacks. So voice meter virtual ASIO is where Reaper's output is coming from. Reaper's reroute, again, is going into OBS ASIO 1 and 2. My microphone would be going into OBS's ASIO input for whatever channel, in case I have that. Maybe even if you didn't have an ASIO interface, you can kind of get away with this. The YouTube out would go into voice meter 3. And see, I'm not done drawing this drawing, but YouTube out could go into voice meter 3. And, okay, sorry, let's go earlier, sorry. Restream out would go into voice meter aux. So that's the first, let me pull up voice meter here so you guys can see. So really I'd have, and I wish I could write on here. So Restream out would come here. This right here I think is going to be, what is that? Restream out. Restream out. Okay, the first virtual ASIO is going to be Reaper, possibly. Oh yeah, actually yes, there is that virtual ASIO driver. So yeah, first output would be Reaper. Second output would be the Restream Chat. Third output would be YouTube's out, and I could do game out on a virtual audio cable, another one, because you can keep adding these things, and you can buy more if you want as well. And where it gets a little bit ugly is this mixer here, but I tested this out last night in a configuration very similar to this, and I ended up just using the voice meter potato mixer, and so far so good. I don't know that I tested voice input, but I was using just my laptop's onboard sound. I wasn't using any interface. I'm about to get a USB interface for that laptop, but anyways, I'm a little bit. I really love what Voicemeeter does. I love what Virtual Audio Cable does, but at the same time, I'm a little sketched out about it. Sorry, I gotta catch somebody real quick. Okay, so what just happened is Simon Larkin gave me a link to this. It's it's Audio Monitor. It's a plugin for OBS, and what it does is, and I have no idea how to make these windows show up or anything. I don't know how to use this thing, but actually I'm really bad at OBS, believe it or not. I don't know how to. Oh, there it is right there. Audio monitor window. Okay, I'm gonna stick this in there. Okay. The way I was doing, let's say getting OBS to restream, is that I was using the monitor out. So if you go to audio and then you go to advanced, there's a monitoring device default, and the way I was doing this was just put a loop back in there, send a loop. I'm not finished with this yet, but send a loop back, and then have that loop back as your streaming software's input. So, I mean, you could just use OBS, but I want to use Restream IO's chat, or if you're going to Zoom or you're going to Google Meets or Slack or whatever else, you're gonna have to treat OBS as your microphone. So you need some sort of loop back there. So what this audio monitor does is, here's my mic, for instance. I don't know what's going to happen if I talk into this thing. Let's not find out. Okay, check. Oh, interesting. So this actually carries the audio across. That's nice. So that's an NDI plugin I was playing with that gets my. I'm actually running one computer into another in order so that I don't mess up the stream as I'm going. So I'm just going to mute that for now. But I do want to see what it's going to do. So if it does feedback a little bit, I think I don't think we'll die. But so for instance, in this mic aux output, I'm going to hit advanced audio properties here, or actually filters. And so here's your normal filter plugins. And now you got something called Audio Monitor. So when I put this in here, check that out. Okay, so now it's feeding back. So I'm gonna shut this up, but sorry. Anyway, oh, how is that still going if I shut you up? Interesting. Anyhow, oh my God, that's gonna drive me nuts. Hold on, sorry guys. Let me shut my speakers up. Okay, there we go. So what this does is it lets you pick your device that you're sending to as a monitor, and I don't think this messes with the actual monitor at all. The OBS output monitor. If it does, we'll deal with it later. But I could send this to any output I want, and I can tell it how loud I want. So now I just got the ability to get this back. Let me pull this back up. Now this mixer right here that goes to my control room, I just got that back just from that right there. And that's not it. So any of these things that you really wanted to only send to one place, or maybe you want to send to a couple places and you want to control it, you could do by putting a monitor output in here. Like let's say, let's add a couple. So here's audio monitor 1, and the device is going to be default. And I'm going to add another audio monitor. So it's going to be audio monitor 2. And the device for this one is, let's say it's the virtual line, whatever that is. I don't know. Still don't really know what that is. And I don't want it that loud. But I want the regular monitor up pretty high. And so now I can send these however I want. And I'm going to hit close. And remind me to fix this because I don't want any of this stuff actually on here. So I'm going to... Interesting that this is post-mute, or pre-mute. I'm going to do the same thing with this other one. I'm going to give it to the same audio monitor. Interesting. So I got to give it another name. Or do I? So it looks like I can... Hopefully you can send it to the same place. Now that's something I haven't tested yet, but you should be able to add, like this one's going to default as well, and we're just going to mix. So you could make your mix. Really, I'd just be laying them flat out like I do in Total Mix. But for other purposes, yes, Alex. Oh, that's not for here. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, guys. So anyways, this will let you add an output. You know, we always wanted an output in OBS. It would be nice if we could run it all as a stereo output someplace else. But you know, this is good enough. I will make this work, assuming this works. I'm not sure that you can actually mix outputs. I'm betting you can. I'm gonna do a very concise video. I hope. I promise. I will try. Where I set this whole same setup that I made in Voicemeeter, and I'm going to do it with this OBS monitor. I think we're still going to need some loopback cables. I definitely we're going to need to get from we're going to have to get from OBS monitor out into like say Restream Live's in, or Skype's in, or Discord's in. But in this case, we can actually send a Discord, and we can send just the signals we want. So I'm really thrilled about this. I think that this is interesting that this thing exists now, right? Even though there shouldn't be any monitors. It's added a. Let me see. Sorry. You should be able to send anything in OBS, any audio in OBS, out to wherever you want it. So that's a pretty good sign. I'm going to try and draw this out how I would do it with this OBS monitor. And like I say, I'm pretty sure there's going to be still some loopbacks. But I think this is really going to save us. So in order to find this, just type in audio monitor plugin, open broadcast software, or OBS, and I think you'll find it. Audio monitor 0.7.1 is what it's up to right now, and there's just a big fat download on the top right that I couldn't find for the longest time. I went to their GitHub and everything, but it's sitting right there on this page, this download. I'm going to try and clear this up, make a much more concise video, and I got to cut the front of this one off. Sorry about that, guys, but I had to go live with this because I really think this is just an awesome topic, and I think this is going to help us out a lot. So I'll see you guys in maybe today, but I'm not sure. I'll see you guys later. Thanks Eli, for catching that.